As the US military recalibrates its strategy in Africa, prioritizing ally self-reliance over direct intervention, experts question whether this move strengthens African security or leaves a power vacuum for insurgents and rival powers. Discover what this means for the continent's future. In the quiet sands of the Sahel and the contested coasts of East Africa, a transformation is underway not in weaponry or troop deployment, but in doctrine and philosophy. The United States is no longer leading from the front lines in Africa. Instead, it is stepping back, urging its African allies to step up. This pivot revealed during the 2025 African Lion military exercises in Morocco is more than a tactical adjustment. It represents a fundamental shift in how America sees its role in Africa, raising urgent questions about sovereignty, security, and stability across a continent already under immense pressure. The new doctrine, partner, don't police. General Michael Langley, head of US Africa Command, AFRICOM, summarized the new ethos simply: burden sharing. For years, the US has poured billions into training and equipping African militaries to combat terrorism, piracy, and insurgencies. Yet despite these efforts, extremist groups like Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, ISIS, and Al-Qaeda have not only endured but expanded in several regions. Now, rather than led, the US intends to support from behind, training local forces, sharing intelligence, and helping build sustainable defense capabilities. This isn't isolationism. It's an attempt to recalibrate the power dynamic and foster African-led security solutions. But will it work? Beyond guns, a retreat from governance and development. For over 2 decades, American engagement in Africa followed a 3D approach: defense, diplomacy, and development. This holistic model recognized that insurgency is not just a military problem, it is rooted in poverty, weak institutions, ethnic marginalization, and hopelessness. Yet the new strategy appears to scale back on this integrated approach. Military advisors and analysts warn that by deprioritizing governance and development, the US may be treating the symptoms of instability while ignoring its causes. African nations need more than bullets and drones, they need investments in public trust, good governance, and economic opportunity. The rise of new players, Russia and China in Africa. This strategic pivot also comes amid a growing geopolitical chess match. China continues to expand its influence through massive infrastructure investments and military bases, like its growing naval presence in Djibouti. Russia, on the other hand, exports military hardware and deploys private military contractors to unstable regions under the guise of security partnerships. As the US scales back direct involvement, its rivals are moving in, offering quick military fixes without democratic strings attached. The fear is that America's step back may inadvertently create a vacuum, one where authoritarian actors gain ground, not through superior strategy, but through default and abandonment. Can African nations bear the burden? The most vital and perhaps painful question is this: are African states ready to manage their own security challenges independently? In truth, many are not. From Nigeria to Burkina Faso, underfunded and poorly equipped armed forces struggle against insurgents that move fast, strike brutally, and exploit weak governance. Without strong civilian institutions and reliable political leadership, even the most well-trained armies risk becoming tools of oppression or dysfunction. AFRICOM's vision of self-reliance is admirable. But self-reliance isn't a switch, it's a process. If the US is serious about sustainable peace, it must invest in that process, not just in troops, but in truth, trust, and transparency. Empathy in strategy, the human cost of abandonment. Too often, strategy is spoken of in sterile terms: logistics, doctrines, outcomes. But behind every policy pivot is a human consequence. In the Sahel, every village abandoned to insurgents is a home destroyed. In Somalia, every shift in troop support leaves civilians vulnerable. In eastern Congo, every withdrawal opens the door to another child soldier recruited, another mother displaced. This is not just a story of strategy, it is a story of suffering and survival. And in that context, policy choices must not only be smart, they must be just and compassionate. Conclusion: partnership or pullback? The US military's new Africa strategy invites deep reflection. Is this a strategic evolution that empowers African nations? Or is it a convenient exit strategy from a continent the West never fully committed to understanding? The future of African security, and America's credibility as a global partner, may depend on the answer. If leadership is defined by presence in hard times, then how will history judge a partner who steps back when the battle is far from won?